Okay. Hello, welcome to the Dev Kit. My name is Josh.
My name's Matt. We are your hosts. This is a show coming from the Video Game Development Association at Cal State Long Beach, where we talk about game development and industry news. Today we have two members of our dev team here at Long Beach, our president, Nathan Moore, president of VGDA, and our sub-tech lead of our tech team, Ken Miller.
Hello.
So here we are, once again, on a beautiful March afternoon, talking about games. So it's kind of a big week, yeah?
Somewhat.
Not specifically.
Kind of.
There's developments. There's a lot of...
There's always developments.
What's the word? Scandal.
Intrigue.
Yes, intrigue. No, there's... what were you saying about some after party?
Oh,
Microsoft?
yeah. So
what's going on?
GDC,
What's the gossip,
GDC
Josh?
just passed.
Yeah.
And I know that Microsoft was trying very hard to show how supportive they were of women in gaming. So they had like a conference regarding that. And then they had an after party later on, unrelated to that had, we'll say, dancers.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No! I was actually
Please, no. Tell us.
I was actually at GDC last week, and that was a lot of fun. And I had a chance to talk to a lot of people who were like interested in women, and they
Did you mistakenly say interested in women?
well, interested in the expanding the role that women have in the game industry.
Okay.
Well, there are a lot of people interested in women there.
Yeah, and if you're not, that's fine.
That's fine.
We
there
don't
was
judge.
there was a legit drag queen at GDC, which was pretty great.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like
As
taller
long as
than
they're
I
cool
am.
drag queen.
Yeah.
Also, for those who are uninformed, I guess we could
Oh, yeah.
explain GDC. Do you want to go for that, Nathan, as
Sure.
you were there?
So GDC is a kind of like one of the world's biggest game developer conferences. So they creatively named it the Game Developer Conference. And it's basically a week-long event where people come together, talk about games, network, meet each other, learn new things, and then market the crap out of their products.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Comic-Con, exclusively for the people who get paid
Yeah.
for being nerdy.
Yeah. Yeah, like people who built beat.
You can do it. Come on.
Ah, damn it! What's it called? Supercell. They make like Clash of Clans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They built a legit castle in the conference.
Really?
That
yeah.
sounds like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Seems like a little bit too much.
It was a little. I was. They had like
no.
20 full-sized character statues there. It was
Like the
How many people
generic
try to climb that?
fighter guy with the handlebar mustache.
yeah. It was pretty nuts.
I think you should have gotten a bunch of people together to attack the castle.
Attack the castle.
But I'm sure
Tear the
something
thing down.
along those lines. I'm sure they had a presentation.
Yeah, they did.
Where it got attacked.
I don't know. Ask
Somebody
him.
needs to blow up the castle, and then they have to wait a week to rebuild it.
Well, but that's not uncommon.
Or you can pay $50. Or you can pay $50 to have it built that in like
They
15
just
minutes.
ship
or
in a
something.
new one and
Yeah.
drop it.
Just like through the roof.
Well, speaking of mobile games, do you play, Ken? I mean, because that's where a lot of money is going.
Mhm.
It's been like that for, the past year or two? Like, they make so much money. Supercell and other
Mhm.
such. What's the other one? Like Game of War? Or
I think Supercell might make that one also.
probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like they
Supercell's
have
a lot of the big ones.
like Supercell owns 4 or 5 of the big mobile game companies.
And then it kind of started with Candy Crush, which was one of the earliest examples of just this
Like
mobile
how
game
big that
making,
could get,
taking over the market in terms of statistics.
Mhm.
Because they have just so many copies because everyone has a smartphone.
It's ridiculous.
It's the early onset of free-to-play microtransactions.
I know.
Admit it, you play Farmville.
I don't play Farmville, but I do play a Fallout Shelter, and I've spent some money on it more
Wait.
than I wanted.
More than
Wait
you
a
care to
second.
admit.
That's like the guiltiest.
I-
The guiltiest thing is admitting how much money you spend on a free-to-play game.
I'm of the opinion that if it's
Yeah.
a good free-to-play game and you still haven't spent more money than you would on a standard game, they haven't roped you in.
Right? Yeah.
How much have you spent?
Details.
60. So
Wait.
it's like,
No, here's my question though.
Wait.
If you could purchase Fallout Shelter, not have it pay in microtransactions, and you could just drop $60 flat and get everything you have now, would you be willing to buy it?
Probably not.
Okay, then they probably roped you in.
And they've got you.
So you're saying you were a victim of like all those micro transactions,
Yes.
the deals that pop
Oh, yeah.
up.
Well, it's amazing how
See,
often
I-
you're just like,
I-
$3, whatever.
There was a sale where all of the
He's justifying.
I know.
the boxes were like half off, and that's probably where he spent like 40 of it.
Oh no.
Wow. I mean, I love the game. I only just recently stopped playing it, like altogether.
Yeah.
I have been playing it for months since it first came out, and I think every one of my 200 dwellers has full stats, like across their special. That's what else are you gonna do?
I never got into it. I never played a Fallout game, so
I never
for me it
hopped
wasn't.
on that train.
It didn't really
I
mean
do
much.
play the Fallout games, and I never. Never got
I'm
into
pretty sure if I played the Fallout games, I would have jumped on it just out of sheer fandom.
I did get in.
Yeah,
I did get in on Pocket Mortys though, the Rick and Morty.
I played that for a bit.
Pokemon analog.
Yeah, I would have kept playing, except I just wanted to play Pokemon. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but most of the mobile games I go for end up being anything that is an attempt to do a console game on a mobile. Like
Well, that's an interesting point actually, because as we were talking about Fallout Shelter, that's Bethesda stepping in, like an enormous behemoth, you could say, of get it, because it's another.
yeah, but that's not the first time that's happened.
Of a bigger developer trying, like, just making a game, which is completely based on one of their central IPs, Fallout, and then just selling it and making a bunch of money on it.
I wonder how much ZeniMax, because ZeniMax is the people who own Bethesda. Like, I wonder how much ZeniMax was just like, hey guys, so you should like make this thing, and they're like, but Fallout 4, and they're like, no, don't even worry about. Like,
Well, I mean,
This is gonna make more money than Fallout
there's
4.
this guy over in Southern California who will legit pay $60 for.
I have learned from that.
I think
You say
everybody's
that
made a
now.
mistake with
Right.
mobile games at some point.
Wait, have you spent any money on any other free-to-play game?
Oh no, I
This is
haven't.
your only one.
Yes.
That's not so
Okay.
bad then.
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
Well, how much have you spent on League of Legends skins?
Oh, and it begins.
You see,
Kinda
the thing
guilty there.
is, the thing is, I don't know.
Smash Brothers DLC.
Oh no.
There's a log on my account somewhere, but I don't know how much I've spent, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
Because if you read it, you'll be very sad.
Yes, I think a friend of mine told me once, like, he's been playing about as long as I have, which is 4 or 5 years, I think, and he spent $500 on the game
no.
to date.
Oh,
I have
no.
a friend like that.
I have never reached
So-
that critical of a state.
No.
I mean, but that's the way the industry is rolling. I would say it's money at the time, microtransactions. Instead of paying your $60 now, here's your game. You gave us the money. We don't expect more money from you.
I think it's kind of an interesting idea because it's like we provide the initial service for free, and if you really like it, you can invest. However, you can give us however much like return on our investment as you want based on how successful you feel that we've been. Sort of. Although then there is of course the issue of like pay to win schemes.
I'm just sick of the games where it's not fun unless you spend money. Like that's one reason I enjoy playing Hearthstone so much. It's because there is an aspect of pay to win to it, but you could play without paying. But despite that, I enjoy playing it without spending money. I have never spent money on Hearthstone, and I'm still enjoying it. I've definitely considered it. And there may be a time down the line where I will spend money. It probably would be worth it to me, but so far I haven't.
I think that's an example nowadays of a good game, a game where you can get a positive experience by not paying money. If you're lacking that, I think that's the point you were getting at, then it's not as good a game.
But that's why I quit a lot of mobile games, because there were a lot of mobile games that I had when I first got my smartphone. And after a few weeks of trying to make it work without money, I'd hit this point where I'm like, this game is so boring to me. Like, even Clash of Clans. I hit a point where I had to wait 3 weeks for anything to happen.
Yeah,
And-
that's
Kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, they also want that's part of the scheme. At least I figure they want you to pay your money over time. They like popping up little deals, but it only works if they make you wait like a week, come back. It's like, hey, this thing didn't happen that I wanted, so I'll pay for it.
And I think, like, from what I've been talking to about developers, because I got to talk to a lot of developers at GDC about kind of that issue is, the idea is, like, when you first start playing those games, it's really easy to get engaged without having spent any money. and then you put 20, 30, 40 hours into the game, and they're like, oh, but if you pay $3 here, you'll like get a little bit more, and then they start ramping that up after you've already become very invested in it.
If I may, have us move into more what we're dealing with
absolutely.
here at Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach, at our development club. Sorry, our organization.
Association.
Are extremely professional, but
Show off your
still
shirt, Ken.
at a student level, which is impressive.
We've got shirts.
Right
This
here.
one here.
That proves we're legit.
We have
There's
a
shirt.
logo and everything. Yeah.
As up-and-coming game developers, do you guys ever imagine these formats, these schemes? Not schemes. That sounds awfully dastardly, but do you imagine that being a part of your experience as you hopefully move into creating games one day for money as a job, as a career? Do the games suffer because of it? Like the game we're making now, how would that work if we tried to implement microtransactions? You could have skins.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Sure. I don't quite know. Since we make our games with the mentality that we're not gonna charge people for it. It's more of a thing to get the organization's name out there,
Right.
and to teach people how the process of creating games is. Yeah.
Does it ever enter your mind, like, I wonder if I'd make this differently if I was trying to make money on it?
$50. Just kidding.
Make his money back from from Fallout Shelter.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't really have a very large amount of experience in making games, so I'm not really sure how to incorporate that and connect the two together. So
I'm a little bit closer to like graduating and
Brag about it.
I know. And like some of the people that I've been talking to about prospective employment are the kinds of companies that do the free to play at first model.
How could we phrase it? The efficient money makers.
And so I mean, as far as working on Echoes of Tikkun, which is the game we're working on right now, I'm kind of grateful for the opportunity to still be working on something that I don't have to like worry about money on, because we're still students, and we can really just like I think a lot of developers, like a lot of people who have really been who've gotten into game development because they really love video games and love that whole process. Like the money is this kind of ugly afterthought that happens.
Right. I would want to mention here at this club, we are here because we love games.
Yeah.
And we're not in any way trying to paint game developers at any level, any size, industry, company that they're bad people.
Right.
It's a business. That's what games are. They make money. That's the only way to make games, or to keep making games, is to make money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just part of the ecosystem.
Yeah,
Part of
yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
I don't know. Personally, I just think that there's nothing wrong with the game charging you money for additional content or anything like that. Like, it's not that there's a problem with microtransactions. It's just that a lot of games have gotten to this point where it's almost all microtransactions. Like, even for content that would normally just be part of the game. And I don't know, I miss the days when I was younger and I could buy a game and I'd beat the game, and then there'd be all this unlockable content that you get for going back through it. It felt like the game had more substance to it, because I'm a sucker for unlockables. Like, I'll go back through a game and try and unlock everything, and I feel like a lot of times now that gets shifted over into additional content that you can pay for, like skins or something like that. And when I find a game that finds a nice balance between the two, those are the games that I enjoy, because I don't mind paying additional money, and I think I'm even more willing to when I feel like they didn't subtract from the game to add those transactions in.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely some games that I am kind of I really don't like the way that they've handled money playing. So like I played a game for a really long time. I still play it occasionally, but it's called PlanetSide 2. And they kind of shift back and forth because it's an online game. They're constantly updating it, and it was in like quote unquote beta for like 2 years or something like that. But everyone was playing it, and it was like a finished game. But they do this thing where it's sort of impractical to even try to get certain like guns and things like that without just paying like money for them. And in some cases, they are like almost better in a lot of senses. And so I know they're a free to play game, and like they really want to make money. But I feel that kind of has, and people that I've talked to, that's driven some of them away from the game itself. But then you have games like a game that I come back to every once in a while called Elite Dangerous that I talk to about too much.
Everyone's got their game in this group.
I know. But they ran into this thing where they were having a really hard time making the core gameplay like fun. Not even engaging. It was engaging gameplay, but it wasn't like super fun. It was kind of repetitive. And they added like basically a whole nother game onto the original game, and so they are selling it for the price of a full game. And I'm kind of like on the one hand, I want to be like, I paid for this game and you're adding this onto the game, so I've already paid for this game, so I should get access to the game. But on the other hand, it's like the scale of what they've done is just so big that I don't really have a problem, paying.
I think it justifies it at that point.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I don't know if there's going to be like a set middle ground for.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's constantly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you guys, especially as people who are making a game right now, and hopefully will make games into their late years, their golden years.
Till I die at 30. Anyway.
Yeah. In bed with a bunch of strippers after GDC.
No, just... Oops. No, just having not slept and like playing Pokemon Go, like.
Sorry, but is that something you're comfortable? Like, is that something you expect as you hopefully get a job with a game developer one day? That's how we make games. Is that in your mind? Is that part of games completely 100%? That's how games are now. You just have to expect. This game has to be made to make a little money afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Have we finally moved away from, here's money, thank you for the game, we're done?
Yeah, the aspect of having the need to make money so you can pay for the people who actually made it is a big factor into what creates a game, because I'm sure that there have been games out there that could sound cool, play good and whatnot, but if the game won't make them a whole bunch of money, they'll pretty much take that idea and just scrap it.
As far as like for making like money after the game has been released, I think in some cases what it's being viewed as is, okay, so the money that we make off of like the initial sales of the game is what helps us recoup our initial investment. So like we've spent $100 million on this game, and then we sell like 100 million copies of the $60 game. Cool, like we've made a ton of money.
Right.
But one of the advantages that companies seem to have realized that they get with adding stuff that gets paid for after the game release is like that stuff tends to have you don't have to spend, well, not always, but like sometimes you don't have to spend quite as much time or resources making those additional like DLCs and whatnot. But with the money that you get off of that, you get to retain a lot more of the people who are in your studio, because what used to happen, people would make a game, publish the game, make money, and then lay everyone off.
Projects.
Yeah, and then they'd lay everyone off, keep a really small team to come up with the next idea for their game, and then rehire a bunch of people to work on that game, and then that process would repeat. Whereas if they have after publication money makers, they can have a small team that's keeping that going, and then that's essentially paying for them to be able to keep the team, like their team sort of intact, while their successful team sort of intact while they start building up steam on their next
So as a
product.
whole, it's just creating more job security in the industry then.
I think so.
To an extent.
Yeah, I mean, like that's something that has been communicated to me by people at, or that's something that I've learned. Like that's people who made Payday 2, like that was, or sorry, Payday was it
That
the
is
Clowns?
That,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's
Payday.
Yeah, Payday.
I can't remember who made it.
That's something that they were talking about, like with like because they've been releasing like all kinds of crazy deals, like Payday 2 Goat Simulator crossover DLC.
Okay,
I almost wanted to try that. Just
Goat
to see what
Simulator
happened.
is
Oh, I love Goat
invading
Simulator.
every.
I-
No,
it's
but all
really
other
weird.
games, any other.
But that I don't.
It's just jumping.
I just
love
wanna
that
see it in
game because
Halo.
it makes me laugh every time I play it. I'm just laughing hysterically
Goat
at how
Simulator?
stupid it is.
I mean, they put their own development, like a house of just their little studio, Coffee Stain, in the game. Yeah.
And you can run in and hit all the developers as a goat.
Yeah,
just
you
run
can.
in, like lick one, drag him across the field.
Really?
Wow.
I need to get in on that. I've never actually played it. I need to
I
get
have
in
it
on
on
that.
my phone. You can try it.
Technology has gone too far.
I got it for free.
So I
Skins?
think this show officially endorses Goat Simulator.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing. Do it. Play Goat Simulator.
It's an
Payday
awful
2.
game, and it is so much fun to play.
Personal opinion. Disclaimer here. Lowering on the screen
that
now.
is the developer's opinion. They tell you don't spend your money on this game.
Oh, I spent like $15.
They
on
flat
it.
out tell you you would be better
I
off
bought it when it
spending your
was
money
new.
elsewhere. They said that when it was new. They said you'd
Yeah.
be better off spending your money on something
my
other than our
God.
game.
Well, I bought it and
It was worth every penny.
enjoyed it.
It was worth
Hold
every
on.
penny I
And
spent.
then they added.
How much money? I thought you got it for free.
The one on my PC I paid for.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, PC version's better. There's more
Okay.
on it.
Oh yeah,
Look at
but
that.
well, I mean, as an example, they're a smaller developer,
Mhm.
Coffee Stain. I happen to know because they, on the side of the building in the game, there's like, yeah, they mention themselves. That's
Mhm.
there.
But you remember who developed Goat Simulator, but not who developed Payday.
Yeah. Well,
I guess it means that they're doing their
well.
job right. You know, you remember their studio. That's the
Yeah,
important
yeah.
thing.
But they're a smaller game, and obviously they have made money, but they haven't necessarily released any other content for their game. And obviously they're
For Goat Simulator,
yeah,
they've released
paid
tons
content.
of content.
Paid
Yeah, they
content.
have.
Yeah.
Paid.
The paid.
Well, there was Goat Simulator. Then there was. What
am I missing?
There was an unpaid one that was Goat MMO,
Yeah.
and then they
there's
added
that.
in one for like a zombie version and one for.
And they,
The Payday one cost money,
well,
right?
yeah. See, so Payday
Those
2.
are within those other games.
No.
No, those are in Goat
Payday,
Simulator.
Payday 2 had a Goat Simulator DLC, and Goat Simulator had a Payday 2 DLC.
Right.
That
Okay.
costs
Yeah.
money.
So
Yeah.
Goat Simulator has released additional
Okay.
like maps with additional features that each cost about $5. So it adds up. So they're still making money off of that
So
ridiculous.
I guess that answers my question, but also reveals another point. That format of
Mhm.
continuing to make content for a game to help smooth the
Transition,
development
yeah.
process exists at all levels.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere there's money being made at any kind of indie studio, I'm sure they try to do that too if they can.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I think that it's like if you are releasing substantial content like relative to what people are already paying for. I mean, I don't really see a problem with people with being asked to like pay a little bit. Like I think it gets a little bit extreme. Like in my humble opinion, I think the Sims 3 DLC bundle got a little extreme when the whole thing cost $1,000. Like all of the
What?
DLC
Wow.
as a package for Sims 3.
That's
What?
because
on
they
S-
just
on
kept on
Steam.
releasing DLC for.
I know, but I like that's what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, I'm sure a YouTube commenter will be like, "No, you're an idiot," but you know.
I mean, they're going to be like that anyway.
I know it's true.
That's YouTube's
That'll-
comment section.
That'll be my,
You know,
my
like
comment.
some
That'll be
legitimate
your
content,
comment.
a few racial slurs, and then
guy in the red's dumb.
someone's gonna put in a rare Pepe, and then everything's gonna.
Yes.
Pepe.
A Goat Simulator Pepe.
Oh no! If it didn't already happen, it's gonna happen now. What have you done? What have you
Played
done?
Goat Simulator, right?
No, I haven't.
I haven't
I'm gonna make you.
I
play
have
it, too.
heard of it.
You know what? If anyone here is still at the Pajama Jam, I'm gonna make you all play it
Oh.
when I show up, because I probably won't be there overnight.
Yeah, well, it'll get played.
It'll get played.
Goat
must.
Simulator will spread like an STD, and everyone will experience it.
I hope it doesn't spread like
It has, and I've spread it to multiple people,
not in the
several
same format,
times.
let me tell you.
Hey, baby. You want to come back to my place? Check out my goats? Yeah.
Nothing about that sounds attractive.
You'd be surprised.
Well, it's,
No, I wouldn't. I've seen the
I hope
internet.
not. I know, right? But yeah.
Well, how is our game going, by the way? We've talked a little bit about the more theoretical aspects of it, but how are we?
You? Yeah, me?
Yeah. All right. So
We only have a few minutes, guys.
Okay.
All right. So I'm the sub lead for the technical team. So I sort of manage people and hand out tasks to our programmers. And in terms of our game, at least on the technical side, I firmly believe that we are doing pretty good. We're kind of at the point where we're starting to finish creating our core mechanics, and then we're going to transition to bug fixing.
Of what I've seen from what you guys have done, I'd say pretty close to being finished. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't look finished.
Also,
but
completely astounding, as another adjective to throw in there. It's just the game looks really good.
Yeah.
Just saying,
Oh, yeah.
It's when it all comes together, I'll be really excited to play it.
Yeah, as president, I kind of oversee like the team leads help them work with their teams to get stuff done, and I also occasionally work on the art team because I'm an art major, so like the visuals that they've been putting together are really awesome.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And like we're already like this is a much more complicated game than anything we've done in the past. And
It got more complicated.
yeah, I know, right?
Oh, it
That's
keeps
new.
getting more complicated.
That's
Yeah.
new.
But like one thing that we've done in the past is really try to focus on like one game mechanic, and really refine that. And we've built up enough kind of expertise and enough confidence that we try to tackle like multiple mechanics. So we have procedural map generation, which is kind of a feature unto itself. It's a puzzle solving game, so it's a lot of like kind of music based puzzles and stuff like that. And there's a lot of exploration that goes on because it's a procedural procedurally generated game. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically the game kind of generates a map sort of randomly, but in a way that still makes sense every time, so you know that you'll have a playable map. It's not completely random, but it is like sort of randomized.
We'll have. I mean, just follow us if you want to find the game. Sorry to cut things short,
Yeah.
but thank you guys. Thank you, Ken and Nathan, for stopping by, talking with us on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
It was
problem.
fun.
Appreciate it.
Josh, go ahead. You want to outro us?
Sure. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. The game that we were talking about was Echoes of Tikkun. That's going to be on both Android and iPhone. Should be maybe a couple weeks after the end of the semester, so look for it probably around, I'd say, mid-May.
Mhm.
And
2016.
then exactly 2016, and then we will also have it on our website, which is VGDA.net. And then
Not Vermont, though.
oh
no.
yeah,
Video Game
No,
Development
no.
Association.
Not the
Yes.
Vermont Game Development Association.
that gets confusing a little bit. Anyways,
So
once again,
Vermont.
thank you for watching the Dev Kit. We'll see you next week.
Subscribe.